trapped under thousands of pounds for 30 minutes.
I accepted it. I might not get out of this.
Then suddenly Siri speaks.
That's when I started telling it, call 911.
Watch this teenager's supernatural rescue.
Phone didn't do anything, it was God.
Plus, meet a former NFL cheerleader who once packed on 70 pounds. See how she whittled them all away with skinny suppers on today's 700 Club.
Welcome to the 700 Club. When will ISIS strike again? That's the question authorities around the world are asking themselves today after the radical Islamic group claimed responsibility for the terrorist bombings in Brussels yesterday. Now police in Belgium have arrested a suspect. Dale Hurd brings us the story.
Belgian police have arrested one of the suspects in the attack. The man shown wearing the hat is Najim Lakraoui. One day after a series of deadly attacks in Brussels, security was at its highest level, with soldiers checking passengers' belongings at the entrances of some of the metro stations in the city. This woman said, "I am absolutely not annoyed by this. If this needs to continue, there is no problem because it is for our security." 34 people died in the attack. 9 Americans were among the 250 wounded. American missionary Rocky Gathright told CBN News he had just dropped off a friend at Brussels airport when the blast occurred.
The second explosion seemed like it was right beside me. All the windows and all the glass just shattered and came exploding out towards the street.
Gathright went in to help and minister to victims, and he prayed with an airline employee. Police have identified 2 of the attackers as Khalid and Brahim Bakraoui. The brothers were known to police for past crimes, but nothing related to terrorism. Both blew themselves up in the attack. Khalid Bakraoui had rented an apartment raided by police last week in an operation that had led authorities to the top suspect in the Paris attack, Salah Abdeslam. The Belgian ambassador to the United States said that in those raids, police discovered evidence a major attack in Belgium was being planned.
There were indications that something was in the offing. A lot of heavy weapons have been found, which is an indication that something was perhaps being planned for the next few days.
But Belgian police were still not able to prevent an attack, and it has cast a spotlight on what some have called a shocking level of unpreparedness by Belgian authorities. An unnamed Belgian official told BuzzFeed News, "We just don't have the people. We don't have the infrastructure to properly investigate or monitor hundreds of individuals suspected of terror links, as well as pursue the hundreds of open files and investigations we have. It's literally an impossible situation, and honestly, it's very grave." A senior U.S. official reportedly said that Belgian authorities know they're sitting on a time bomb. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Thanks, Dale. While ISIS and its supporters celebrate the attacks in Brussels on social media, Christians from around the world are using the web to offer prayers for the city, the victims, and their families. And you can see that story on cbnnews.com. In other news, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton added to their leads in the presidential race in yesterday's primaries. John Jessup has that story from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John.
Thanks, Wendy. Trump and Clinton came out on top in those primaries, but Ted Cruz and Bernie Sanders also won some victories. Frontrunners Trump and Clinton won the prized Arizona primaries, with Trump gaining all 58 delegates in that state. Meanwhile, Cruz won all 40 of the GOP delegates in Utah. And Sanders beat Clinton in both the Utah and Idaho caucuses, gaining a handful of Democratic delegates. Also today, former candidate Florida Governor Jeb Bush endorsed Ted Cruz, calling him a consistent, principled conservative who can unite the party. Well, Hillary Clinton may be on her way to securing the Democratic nomination, but she has a problem with young millennial voters who last year surpassed baby boomers as the largest generation in the country. Yet, as Jennifer Wishon reports, 2 presidential contenders seem to have no trouble wooing that voting bloc.
When it comes to the millennial vote, the numbers say it all. So far, the leaders are Senator Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. While Hillary Clinton scored big with the win in the Ohio primary, she lost big to Sanders, 81-19, among voters ages 18 to 29. proving that millennials are still feeling the burn. According to a USA Today Rock the Vote survey, 46% of millennial Democrats overwhelmingly support the Vermont senator. 26% of Republican millennials support Donald Trump. Analysts point to the anger theme of this election cycle as contributing to the Trump-Sanders phenomenon. But the millennials we talk to are drawn to Sanders and Trump for a different reason: jobs. Meet Abigail Kelly, a political reporter for Chase the Race, a team of millennials traveling the country covering the 2016 election. Kelly says Senator Sanders in particular speaks to the issues young people want to hear.
The young people support those two in particular because they're authentic in different ways, and I think these two candidates reach out to young people the most. You know, I think they, like with Senator Sanders and his college funding ideas.
Millennials we talk to across the country agree.
We're all affected by me having a job and my parents, paying for my tuition and whatnot.
Both campaigns have worked to meet young voters where they are, online. The Sanders campaign has 1.7 million Twitter followers and another 3 million on Facebook. Donald Trump, known for his fast Twitter fingers, has been called the Ernest Hemingway of 140 characters, with more than 6 million Twitter followers. But big numbers on social media don't necessarily equal real-life support. Dr. Ben Carson had virtually the same number of Facebook followers as Trump, but Carson's campaign is finished. It's the message that seems to resonate with young people.
Donald Trump's really just, he's like, this is how it is, this is how it's going to be, and I'm all for that.
A lot of my friends, they're big Bernie Sanders supporters, and then I have a lot of friends that are Donald Trump supporters as well, because I feel like millennials, they like people that aren't as wishy-washy. That's a characteristic for our generation. We don't really like to have people that are riding the fence.
Another message resonating with millennials is socialism. According to a survey from Republican strategist Frank Luntz, 58% of young Americans see socialism as the most compassionate economic system. And this generation's potential impact is undeniable. Nearly 90% say they are extremely or very likely to vote in November. It's enthusiasm Kelly says she's noticed on the campaign trail.
The students around me are really into this. I think also because the kids my age, this is the first election they're really paying attention to, and also the media has made the information easier to get to. So kids are really excited.
And while they may not be known as the greatest generation, they are the biggest, making them a powerful voting bloc. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News.
A powerful voting bloc indeed. Thanks, Jennifer. The Supreme Court takes up a case today of faith-based groups defending their religious freedom against Obamacare. Religious nonprofits like the Catholic charity Little Sisters of the Poor object to the mandate from the Department of Health and Human Services that forces them to provide contraceptives and abortion-inducing drugs. They argue providing them violates their beliefs against abortion.
We are the believers. And so when we draw the line between action that is acceptable or unacceptable to our faith, we are the final and only judges of where that line belongs. So what we're saying to the government is, you have to respect our beliefs and give us an exemption from this mandate that would make us involved in activities we see as evil.
Only 8 justices will hear the case because of the vacancy left by the death of Justice Antonin Scalia. We'll have a report on the High Court's hearing on this case on tomorrow's 700 Club. Well, less than 3% of American adults are living even a basic healthy lifestyle. That's the finding from a study that tried to find out how many people follow just 4 simple principles of healthy living, including a good diet, keeping body fat under control, moderate exercise, and not smoking. The study found that just 2.7% of adults meet these standards, meaning that over 97% do not. The study was conducted by researchers from Oregon State University and the University of Mississippi, and a senior author of the study called the results, quote, sort of mind-boggling. And Wendy, with your wilderness survival training, your bungee jumping and mountain climbing, I know, no doubt you fit in that 3%.
Hey, I'm definitely trying, but John, it's a full-time job trying to keep up with you. I mean, you don't have an ounce of fat on you, so anyway. Well,
I'm trying to follow your lead.
Well, coming up, a go-to destination for weddings.
Barn weddings are trendy right now, that rustic elegance, country charm, and that's what we can provide.
See why this wedding venue may be closed for business. You won't believe it right after this. The battle between same-sex marriage and religious freedom has been getting more intense in recent years. In many states, Christians who turn down gay weddings can face financial penalties, including some that could cost them their business. Heather Sells brings us the story of one New York couple who fought back to protect their First Amendment freedoms.
On the banks of the Hoosick River, just outside of Albany, couples flock to Liberty Ridge Farm for the wedding of their dreams. Owner Cynthia and Robert Gifford say their business took off about 10 years ago.
It was really just couples coming to us because barn weddings are trendy right now. That rustic elegance, country charm, and that's what we can provide.
Fast forward to 2011, when the state of New York redefined marriage.
We actually did sit down and have a conversation that this law was enacted. It goes against our beliefs. It was not something that we wanted to be doing, that it just, deep in our hearts that we are each gifts from God to each other. So we did not want 2 weddings and didn't think that we were obligated to.
What changed everything for the Giffords was a phone call in 2012. A lesbian woman inquired about using their property for her wedding. She initially did not reveal that it was a same-sex wedding, and she never told the Giffords that she was recording the call.
I politely told her that we do not hold same-sex ceremonies here. We can hold the reception. And she said, "Oh, that's too bad, thank you," and hung up.
Gifford didn't give the call a second thought. But Melissa and Jennifer McCarthy, armed with their phone recording, filed a complaint with the New York State Division of Human Rights. They accused the Giffords of illegally discriminating against them on the basis of sexual orientation. In 2014, the division agreed, fining the Giffords $13,000 and ordering anti-discrimination training. For Cynthia, the required training for their staff was the most painful part.
When the government tells you what to say and punishes you if you don't is scary stuff. And all Americans should be fearful of this, no matter where they stand on this issue.
Believing they should fight for religious liberty for all Americans, the Giffords appealed, asserting they did not discriminate.
The Giffords employ openly gay employees. They do events for same-sex couples, birthday parties, and the like.
Jim Traynor, an attorney with Alliance Defending Freedom, also argued that forcing the Giffords to host same-sex wedding ceremonies violated another First Amendment right.
It forces them to convey the message that not only are they okay with same-sex marriage, but that they believe in it enough where they will actively promote it.
But in January, a state appeals court unanimously disagreed, saying New York law protects against discrimination in places of public accommodation and that it does not target religious beliefs. It also noted rulings from other states against Christian wedding vendors, building on a growing public perception that biblically motivated businesses have no viability in the wedding marketplace. Christian lobbyist Stephen Hayford says he's concerned that the Giffords case will harm people of faith.
If I were a wedding vendor, what I would be saying is, my goodness, I don't know if I want to be in this business anymore if I can't run my business in accordance with my own beliefs.
Gifford has heard that same fear from other Christian vendors.
They're scared that their faith is going to be compromised, that their livelihood is going to be compromised. This 3-minute phone call has been financially devastating to our family.
The Giffords aren't sure how they will go forward. While they host seasonal events on the farm, the wedding business is significant. The latest ruling affirmed that they must host same-sex ceremonies if they choose to host traditional ones. But the judges also said that they are free to profess their belief that gay couples should not marry. If there's a way to somehow do both, publicly affirm their convictions and allow gay weddings at Liberty Ridge, that may be a way for the Giffords to stay in business, at least for now. Reporting near Albany, New York, Heather Sell, CBN News.
Thanks, Heather. You know, it's absurd that the judges are saying you can still say you don't believe in same-sex marriage while at the same time still forcing this couple and others to perform same-sex marriages on their own property. The Giffords are rightly fighting for religious freedom, not just for themselves, but for all Americans who believe marriage is between one man and one woman. And more of these cases are happening in other states as well, especially liberal states. Some Christian vendors, as we just heard, are actually thinking about getting out of the business altogether, which is not very American. Well, up next, meet a teenager who survived being slammed by thousands of pounds when his truck fell on him.
It was a very labored job to breathe. So what I'd do is I'd focus everything on getting a breath and then hold the air for as long as I could, cry for help.
Hear how Siri helped save his life after this.
To see this week's most viewed stories, go to CBN.com.
Welcome back to the 700 Club. Last July, Sam Ray made national headlines after his dramatic rescue. Sam was pinned under his truck for 40 minutes, no help in sight. But after a half hour, Sam did hear a sound, the voice of Siri.
Sam Ray was home alone when he faced the most crushing trial of his life. It was July 2nd, 2015. The 18-year-old was working under his truck at his family's home in Nashville, Tennessee.
I used jack stands, went through the proper procedures at least. I got under there and found what I believed to be the issue, and I gave my dad a call and let him know what was going on, and he promptly told me to get out from underneath the truck. About that time, anyways, I slid the phone in my back pocket and I was getting out from underneath the truck.
It was then one of the jacks gave way. Thousands of pounds slammed onto one of Sam's arms and his abdomen.
It's a very helpless feeling. I accepted it from the moment of impact pretty quick afterwards, that I might not get out of this.
With the weight of the truck slowly crushing his body, Sam fought to breathe.
It was a very labored job to breathe. So what I'd do is I'd focus everything on getting a breath and then hold the air for as long as I could, cry for help and try to wriggle free as much as I could during that time.
Sam's only lifeline was prayer.
I was saved at a very young age, and I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt where I was going if this was the end. So it made the moment so much easier to deal with. It was still scary because, I had family, friends, and things I wanted to do, a life that I wanted to live.
Sam had been pinned more than 30 minutes when he heard a familiar voice, Siri from his iPhone. It was in his back pocket and was somehow activated by the pressure on Sam's body as he struggled to get free.
But Siri went off, and that's when I started trying to give voice commands and telling it, call 911. And
Siri, call 911. Siri.
After several attempts, Siri responded.
911. Help me, please. Help me.
The call set off a string of radio and cell phone alerts for first responders in the area. One of them, a volunteer firefighter, happened to live just down the street. Within minutes, he was able to jack up the truck and pull Sam to safety. Shortly after, a life flight unit from Vanderbilt University arrived.
When we first received the call, all the information we had was that we had a young man that had been trapped under a vehicle for, we think, about 30 minutes. So obviously we prepared for the worst, thinking that this could be significant injuries, especially having been under a heavy vehicle for a certain amount of time. Many times the outcome is not good.
Doctors feared Sam had several internal injuries that could cause long-term damage. Immediately, Sam and his family turned to prayer.
I think the biggest one was that God would have his will and way. Regardless of what the outcome, I knew he would have control and that he would bring it around to be what he wanted it to be. But lots of fear and disbelief that this is my son. This is something that's happening to our family.
Doctors ran a battery of tests to rule out any major internal organ damage, but only discovered a few broken ribs and burns. The very next day, Sam walked out of the hospital.
The doctor said he could not believe, with the truck falling on him, that there wasn't any more severe injuries than what he had, and that we were very blessed. I knew he'd been protected and God had his hands on him.
Doctors told the family if things didn't happen the way they did, Sam could have lost his life.
To see Sam leave the hospital in a relatively short period of time was very miraculous. Things could have been much worse if he had not been able to call 911 and get a first responder to assist.
Had the car come down even another inch and broken more ribs or done more damage to his spleen or bruised more lung tissue, any change in the way that went down, he might not have walked away at all. You can call it divine intervention, but he's here for a reason.
Sam's Siri rescue gained national media attention, but the Ray family give God all the credit.
God kind of has his hand in everything. So whether people call me lucky or blessed, either way I know it's God. So they can argue and say, oh, well, phone did this and phone did that. Nah, phone didn't do anything, it was God. Power of prayer, it works. Sometimes people think they're speaking to air, but God's there and he hears what you're praying. And no matter how many times you pray, he still hears you.
And he did in that case. I have a new respect for Siri after that, but Sam's right. It wasn't Siri. It was God who caused Siri to come on and say, what can I do for you? And he called 911. That's so amazing. Well, we've got another answer to prayer here from Christine from Dothan, Alabama. She'd been having sciatic pain in her left leg for over a year. It was a constant 24-hour misery. And she had no health insurance, could not afford to see the doctor more than once in a while. One day, her husband called the CBN Prayer Center and asked for intercessory prayer for his wife's condition. Well, within 2 days, she woke up and realized her pain was completely gone. So if you have a prayer need today, just realize that God is with you. He hears you, and he still heals today. And we have a phone number you can call, our 1-800-759-0700. Our prayer counselors are there. They want to pray with you, so please give them a call. Again, 1-800-759-0700. Well, still ahead, a former NFL cheerleader whips up one of her signature skinny suppers. Spoiler alert, it's shrimp and grits right in our 700 Club kitchen. Plus, she'll tell us how she lost 70 pounds. Coming up.
Welcome back to Washington for this CBN News break. Kansas Governor Sam Brownback has signed a bill that protects the rights of religious organizations on college campuses. The new law allows faith-based college groups to restrict membership to those who share their beliefs. Kansas already had a religious objections law, but it didn't extend to college clubs and organizations. Critics say the law is an attempt to legalize discrimination. Supporters say it's a victory for religious freedom. The law goes into effect in July. Militants murdered 4 Wycliffe Associate workers in the Middle East. The ministry says the terrorists raided their office, killed the translators, and destroyed materials. One translator did survive, though. The ministry is in mourning, but is praising God that work on 8 language projects was not destroyed. They're doubling efforts to finish those projects now. A coordinator is asking for prayer as the ministry heals. She says, "Pray with me for the killers, too. Pray for these whose hearts are so hard. Pray the Lord will open their eyes to what they have done." Well, you can always get the latest from CBN News by going to our website at cbnnews.com. Wendy will be back with more of the 700 Club right after this.
Brooke Griffin loves to cook and she loves to eat, but she didn't love that extra weight she put on after motherhood. So Brooke invented something she calls skinny suppers. Take a look.
Brooke Griffin is a former NFL cheerleader and fitness champ. But after her son was born, Brooke found herself facing a divorce and struggling to lose 70 pounds. So she started a fitness plan and blogged her journey back to health. Along the way, Brooke founded SkinnyMom.com and now helps other moms who are facing the same struggle. In her cookbook, Skinny Suppers, Brooke shares her recipes for waist-friendly versions of family favorites.
And the beautiful Brooke Griffin is here with us right now. You were an NFL cheerleader for which team again?
The Cincinnati Bengals.
That must have been so much fun. And you're a Kentucky girl.
I am.
Which is near Cincinnati. I'm a West Virginia girl, so that's why we're getting along so well. I can feel the good vibe here. Okay, so tell us, you were used to staying fit. I mean, that was part of your job. You had to be fit. You're obviously still in great shape. But what happened after the birth of your son?
Yeah, so I found myself going through a difficult place, and I had really just kind of let myself go at this point. I was suffering a lot from depression and anxiety, and with the extra weight.
Because you were kind of going through
I was going through that difficult time, and I had put on, almost 70 pounds. And so I started working out. Started working out at home, posting the workouts, and then I started cooking healthier meals because it's really about eating good.
Yeah, I mean, how did you lose 70 pounds, though?
Yeah, it was just every day. I really leaned on my faith. I trusted God, and I tried to work out every day from home. And then I cooked healthy meals, skinny suppers. That's kind of what I did. I took a lot of family recipes and made them skinny.
Now, Brooke, you're a big fan of the family sitting down and having a meal together. Why is that important to you?
Well, yeah, growing up in the South, that was a big part of my dinner time when I was younger. My granny would cook for us, and it would be during this time that we would catch up on our day, we would laugh, we would talk, and we would pray. And so when I had my son, I wanted him to have these same family values and these memories.
Now, Brooke, you have started a blog or a website called SkinnyMom.com.
Yes, where moms get the skinny on healthy living.
Okay, so it's where moms get the skinny. You've got 6 million people visit your site for recipes like the one that you're about to fix for us, which is one of my favorites. It's shrimp and grits.
Yes.
And I've never made this. I always thought this would be like really hard. But it's not. We went through it earlier. So you take it away. Shrimp and grits.
Yeah, so this is our Southern shrimp and grits. And you know, Wendy, growing up in the South, you eat grits
are
all
a
the
staple.
time.
Grits are a staple.
So we're going to start with the grits. So what we have is about equal parts of low sodium chicken stock and non-fat milk. So these are the skinny swaps for the grits. They're going to make them lightened up.
You bring them to a boil?
Bring it to a boil. The grits are already in here, and we've actually already added the cheese too. And these are only going to take about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So this is the grits. So now on to the fun part, which is going to be the shrimp. So what we're going to do is we're going to step over here. You want to start with about a pound of shrimp.
Okay, and they're already peeled.
Already peeled.
Okay, nice size,
Nice.
medium-sized shrimp.
Yep. We're just gonna add these all in the bag.
They're sticky.
Yeah, a little bit
shrimp.
sticky. Okay, and now this is the seasoning, Old Bay.
Okay.
Who doesn't love Old Bay?
love
A
Old Bay.
tablespoon of Old Bay, and then I'm gonna let you shake these up, give them a shake, get them all nice and covered.
Right.
And then we've already got some over here that are cooking. And these are gonna cook over medium to high heat. There's a little bit of green onion, some minced garlic in the pan.
I love garlic.
And the tip for shrimp is to be really careful. It cooks really quick.
Is there olive oil in there too?
A little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and it's only gonna take about 3 to 5 minutes to get the shrimp.
It smells so good.
Yes, nice and pink. And now we're just going to transfer these over to the grits. And then I'll actually let you come in, Wendy, too, and you can help me top it off.
Okay.
I always like to add just a little bit of extra white cheddar cheese on top.
Absolutely, makes everything better.
Yep.
So just a little like that?
Yep, just sprinkle it right on top there.
Okay.
And then we'll finish the dish off with some green onions.
Okay.
And what's so great about this recipe, from prep to table, you're gonna have this done in 15 minutes.
Well,
It's
I don't
really
know about
easy.
you, but I haven't had breakfast, and I think this would make a good breakfast. Why don't we give it a try?
Try it.
Okay.
And one thing about this recipe is I like to finish it off with side dishes as well. This is so good.
Oh my gosh.
The grits are cheesy, they're creamy, really good flavor.
I'm telling you, this is the best shrimp and grits I've ever had in my life. I'm serious.
So easy to make too. You can definitely make this at home. A great side dish for this, these are our asparagus fries.
Okay, let me get this straight. Asparagus fries, not French fries.
Not French fries.
And obviously a lot healthier for you.
Yes.
How do they taste though? How do they I mean, I like asparagus, but how
They're
do they taste?
really good. They've got a great crunch to them, and this is a great way to get your kids to eat a vegetable.
Okay, let me try it.
Really good crunch. This is a dipping sauce.
I love the crunch.
You love the crunch? That you can make with the asparagus fries.
Oh, I didn't
It's
see
a
that.
lemon aioli sauce.
Okay.
And again, this is skinny as well. This pairs nicely too with both of these main dish options. This is the skinny broccoli salad.
Okay.
And
Now
this
tell me
is-
about this. Now, this looks familiar. Like I've seen this at family events before.
Yes, so this is actually just a lightened up version of my aunt's recipe. This made its appearance at every holiday gathering we had growing up in Kentucky. So this is still a holiday staple, and it's actually one of the most popular recipes on SkinnyMom.com too. Millions of women have tried it. The skinny broccoli salad.
And this is a ranch dressing. So this is...
Yes, it's a reduced fat ranch dressing. And then these are aloha sliders. These are great for portion.
Aloha, like Hawaii. Okay, aloha sliders. And tell me what these are.
So mini aloha sliders. So these are beef sliders, and then they have a red cabbage slaw with a warm pineapple topping. These are in the cookbook as well.
Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I mean, the pineapple, I love pineapple.
And most of the dishes in the cookbook, not only do they taste good, but they're less than 350 calories a serving, which is a great to be able to cook for your family.
Amazing. And tell me about this. This is an entree right here.
This is an entree, really easy. It's called our Supreme Pizza Pasta Casserole.
Okay.
Again, less than 350 calories. And one thing that's great about the cookbook, there's a lot of one pot, a lot of casseroles, a lot of crock pot dishes. I wanted to make a cookbook that had recipes with great flavor, but that was really easy for every home cook to make.
Okay, now tell me, I mean, how do you stay looking the way you do right now?
Well, thank you. You know, I think it's all about balance, trying to fit it in. So I start each day with an intention to do something active, whether it's 10 or 15 minutes.
What about sweets, though? I mean, you're a Southern girl. I know you gotta like sweets.
Yeah.
But does the cookbook have some desserts and?
So this cookbook doesn't have desserts, but you're right. I definitely have.
Oh, this is right, suppers.
This is all suppers and side dishes, but I definitely have a sweet tooth too. You know, I think my philosophy in eating is just it's all about balance. Everything in moderation. Don't follow strict diets. Treat yourself, but just make sure to take care of yourself every day. You know,
what's it like now being an inspiration to literally millions of women who are coming to you for advice, knowing where you've come from? I mean, you came from feeling like you said depressed and overweight, and now you're the inspiration.
It's truly, it's something I thank God for this opportunity every day, and it's pretty incredible because, like you said, I could have never have imagined the place that I was in 5 years ago to see what He could do with my life at this point.
And you're still a single mom?
I am. I'm a single mom to a 5-year-old.
So a 5-year-old. So that's one way you're keeping busy and obviously keeping in shape. Because I know my sister, when her kids were really young, she said that was her secret.
Yes.
To
you're at the playground. You're at the park all the time. He definitely keeps me young.
Well, Brooke, you are amazing. You're such an inspiration. I'm so glad you didn't give up, and now you're helping all of us stay a little bit skinnier. There are many more mouth-watering meals in Brooke's new book. It's called Skinny Suppers, and it's available wherever books are sold. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank
God
you,
bless
Wendy.
you.
Thank you.
Still ahead, the amazing story of a rise of a world-class chess champion from the most unlikely spot on Earth. Once you meet the Queen of Katwe, you'll never forget her. So stay with us. When Satija was born, his parents were consumed with grief and guilt. Even worse, they feared that their baby was slowly dying and there was nothing they could do to save him.
6-month-old Sitaja was born with a cleft lip and palate.
We didn't understand why we didn't have a healthy baby like all the other parents. When we got home, everyone kept asking me what I did to have a child like this.
It was impossible for Sitaja to drink his mother's milk. He was hardly gaining any weight.
We had to feed him powdered milk, but it often upset his stomach. We wanted to buy him cow's milk, but we couldn't afford it. He was getting very weak.
As a day laborer in southern India, Sitaja's father couldn't pay for a cleft lip operation.
My son was always on my mind. The government wasn't going to help us, and we didn't have anyone else to turn to for help.
Then a local hospital found out about Sitaja and contacted CBN. We told them that we would sponsor the surgery.
After the operation, he has been able to drink milk without any problems and sleep well. His health is also a lot better, and he is gaining weight.
I never thought my son would have a normal lip, but you made it possible. The doctors did a good job. We are so happy.
Oh, what a precious little smile on that baby. Well, if you're a member of the 700 Club, you helped make that happen. It's just 65 cents a day, $20 a month to become a CBN partner. And we have many levels here at CBN. We have our Gold level, which is just $40 a month. Our 1,000 Club level, $80 a month. If you join at our Gold level at $40 a month, we want to give you our new DVD called Heaven, What God Has Prepared for Those Who Love Him. If you join at any level, you will get this. But if you join at our Gold level or higher, we're going to send you 3 of our DVDs, 1 for you, 2 to give away. If you go up to our 1,000 Club level or higher, we're going to send you 5, 1 for you and 4 to give away. So this is a great teaching that will really encourage you to know more about what heaven's going to be like. Well, up next, the inspiring story of a young girl from the slums of Uganda.
To be Ugandan is to be an underdog in Africa. To be from Katwe is to be an underdog in Uganda. To be a girl is to be an underdog in Katwe.
See how this underdog rises to the top dog in the world of chess right after this. Well, let me ask you, what's your favorite underdog story? Is it Rudy or maybe Rocky? I love Rocky. Well, now you're about to see one that outshines them all. It begins thousands of miles away in the last place you'd think to find a champion. Wes Rickards brings us this extraordinary story of the Queen of Katwe.
To be African is to be an underdog in the world. To be Ugandan is to be an underdog in Africa. To be from Katwe is to be an underdog in Uganda. To be a girl is to be an underdog in Katwe.
Located in the shadows of the Ugandan capital of Kampala, Katwe is, in all sense of the word, a slum. It's a place where refugees were shooed because no one else wanted to live there. The place is a literal sewer. Crime is rampant, as is drug use and prostitution. Half of all teenage women are mothers. They say if you're born in Katwe, you die in Katwe.
Life in Katwe is very challenging, I would say, because the people who actually live in Katwe are people who have no choice. If they had a choice, they can't be in Katwe. And it's the only area that they can afford to be in. Sometimes it's hard even to explain how people really stay there.
Every day at 6 a.m., Robert Katende arrives here, a rundown structure that doesn't look too out of place here in Katwe. The building is called Agape Church, which is part of a U.S.-based ministry called Sports Outreach. Katende is the ministry director here.
I very much believe that, especially when it comes to the children and the youth, everyone loves to play, for sure. But many times people are not given the opportunity. And some of these children always don't have a chance to even play because they are always struggling to survive.
As you can imagine, sports is heavy on the agenda here. The boys take quickly to soccer and dozens of children show up every morning. Many of them don't go to school. Some are orphans. Few are homeless. All looking for guidance in their own way.
So when they come, the first thing is to try to show that you really care for them. You are there for them. You play together. You encourage. So eventually they get to bond with you. And then you're able to direct them to some other life they have never seen.
While soccer is popular, there are drawbacks. It can be fast. It can be violent. So not everyone joins in. Robert noticed that and started thinking of other ways to get everyone involved. Finally, he thought of a board game so foreign, there's not even a word for it in his native language. Robert was going to teach this game to a bunch of kids who didn't even know how to read.
Whatever you go through on that board actually is what we go through in our daily life. It requires strategy, it requires abstractive thinking, it requires concentration, focus, time management, everything. Talk about any concept. We need it in our life.
And one day, while talking to slum kids about pawns and rooks and kings, Robert noticed something. A 9-year-old girl in a window.
The first day, I just took her like any other child. In fact, when she came, my first question was, how will she feel at home?
To say Fiona Mutez was a 9-year-old might be a bit of a misnomer. The truth is, no one knows how old she was. We know that she was born in Katwe. We know her father died when she was about 3, possibly due to AIDS. And we know when she first appeared in the window, she had just walked several miles and was only looking for something to eat.
So that day, I remember I was very, very dirty. And I was always very, very hungry. So my brother came and told me about the chess program they always had. So that day I was able to learn chess and again even to get a meal.
Now, chess isn't an easy game to pick up. And when Fiona first started playing, she lost. A lot. But she still kept playing.
There was a boy who used to beat me every day. So one time I went to Coach Robert and he taught me how to defend that opening. So I went back to play this boy. When I played him, I happened to win him and he cried. From that day, that's when I said, I have to beat every boy.
And within that short time she had been in the program, I realized that there is something special with this girl. Like you could teach her something and she could easily pick it up.
What makes Fiona great, though, is that she has something that can't be taught. It's this instinct, this ability to see the right move many moves in advance, knowing that the wrong move could mean death. That's a lesson she learned growing up in Katwe.
Sometimes the environment they stay in teaches them to be very aggressive because the life there is more like survival of the fittest. And she was almost more playing the same way. So it was just to calm her down. Not every time that it's going to be attacking. You need to strategize, you need to plan well, get your pieces ready for that attack.
Within a year, Fiona was beating the boys at Agape Church, including Coach Robert. Soon she was visiting boarding schools and beating the kids there. Then she played university players and whipped them too. In 2007, 11-year-old Fiona Mutez won Uganda's junior championships and the national championships just a few years after that.
We shall live together. We shall live together. We shall live together someday.
Fiona Mutez is a Christian. It's a faith she learned at the Sports Outreach Mission, and it's one that's helped her survive in Katwe.
When I went to chess program, I was not a Christian before. I stayed there and I listened to the story. It was so interesting, so I kept on remaining every day for the stories.
In 2010, 14-year-old Fiona flew to Siberia with Uganda's national team for the world's most prestigious tournament, the Chess Olympiad. It marked only the second time she had left the country, and it became the first time the world laid its eyes on the young chess prodigy.
There are many things which have happened to me which I can't believe. Before I joined chess, I was living just in the slum and I thought everyone lived that kind of life.
The morning after she flew back to Uganda, Fiona returned home to a hero's welcome. And soon, they came calling. The writers, the reporters. Her story has been told by CNN, ESPN, and there's a book about her life. She's toured America, spoken to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, met Gary Kasparov. Disney is making a movie about her life. Her future is bright.
Sometimes I feel like I'm overwhelmed. It overwhelms me because it doesn't matter what I've passed through, because whatever I've passed through, it's already gone now. I'm looking forward for my future.
Chess is her ticket out. From the slums, from the 10-by-10 hut she calls home that she shares with her mother and siblings. And if she can escape, she can lead others to follow her path.
I feel she's a source of hope. Many children go through the same life she's been in, but I think seeing her breaking that chain, I think it's more like an inspirational story for them. And I've always encouraged the children, I told them no excuses none whatsoever. With God, everything is possible. The sky is the limit.
To be African is to be an underdog in the world. To be Ugandan is to be an underdog in Africa. To be from Katwe is to be an underdog in Uganda. And to be a girl is to be an underdog in Katwe. And yet, in Katwe, the unlikeliest place of all, the Queen stands tall.
That's an amazing story. Thanks, Wes. Her ticket out was chess. Well, if you'd like to learn more about Fiona, you can pick up a copy of the book about her life. It's called The Queen of Katwe, and it's available wherever books are sold. There's also another happy postscript to this story. Sports Outreach has just broken ground on a brand new ministry center in Uganda, and soon they'll be able to feed, educate, and mentor even more children. And you can find out more about Sports Outreach by going to our website, cbn.com. We'll be right back with more of the 700 Club right after this. And when you join the Superbook DVD Club every 1 to 2 months, you'll receive 3 copies of the newest episode of Superbook for your recurring gift of just $25 on a credit or debit card. And now, as a special Easter bonus, new members of the Superbook DVD Club will receive 3 copies of our newest episode, David and Saul, plus 2 free Superbook DVDs, 1 copy of The Last Supper and 1 copy of He is Risen, all for just $25. DVD Club members are also, they can receive free streaming of season 1 and 2. So there you go. Well, we have a great scripture for you today. It's Acts 20:35. Remember the words of the Lord Jesus that he said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. From all of us here, God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow.